This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, Lord bless you for that. We're still a few years away from the network being launched. I think that actually came out in 2014. So people were actually coming out of pocket for this, and it actually does okay. You know, it's got 195,000 buys for this show. The year before, though, they did 228,000 buys. As you look around the rest of 2010, Survivor Series did 239,000 buys. SummerSlam did 350,000 buys. And of course, WrestleMania, being the brand it is, did 885,000 buys. Business is down a little bit from the prior year, but again, I think it all sort of runs together. Nothing here in 2010. When I think, when I think back to, sort of some of the more important years in WWE history, if you think about 85, with the advent of WrestleMania, or you think about 87 with WrestleMania 3, or of course, 88 had the first SummerSlam, and you fast forward to maybe even the 92 Royal Rumble and Flair wins the world title, or who could forget 97 with the advent of the Attitude Era. And there's distinctive looks and feels. And then for 2010, and I don't know if this is just because of my age and where I was in my fandom. It was just sort of there. Nothing really jumped off the page. When you went back and watched this show, did it take you back to that time where, did you think internally from the inside, hey man, we're looking for our next big thing. We're looking for our next big hit. We haven't quite got any momentum just yet.
Well, it was the era of Cena.
Yeah.
Which means we were pointing towards children.
Yep.
PG product, which is a far stretch from the Attitude Era, obviously, about as far as you can get. And I feel like we were trying to go with the Nexus full bore, but it was start and stop.
Right.
They wouldn't just go ahead and pull the trigger. And I think the number of guys that were filtered through a card, there was probably 7 or 8 of those guys, and you would filter them through a card and they were well represented, but they weren't pushing them and really piling some heat on them. And I think that was a big mistake.
Let's talk about some positive news. You guys did the tribute to the troops on December 18th on NBC. It does a 1.45 rating. It has 2.34 million viewers. That is a terrible rating for primetime network TV, but clearly this is a PR thing. It's not about the ratings, but it's still on network TV. This year it airs not just on USA, but on NBC. It's a different version of the show, but still it's something that, there is an interest in, from a corporate standpoint. What'd you think of these tribute to the troops shows? Did you think, at this point, I guess they've been going for nearly a decade. Was it still valuable? Were guys still telling you they enjoyed, doing this tour? Did you make any trips over? What can you tell us about tribute to the troops?
Well, I didn't do the ones overseas. I did do all of the ones that were here, and we were all honored to honor our troops for everything they do for us every single day. And, to honor their families who sacrifice every single day. And, the one thing that was not lost on that locker room, I can tell you, is doing anything for our troops was a honor and a privilege, and we're always thrilled to do it. But if you look at that show, it was meant to be just a feel-good show. There were really no angles on the show. And if you're already oversaturated with the wrestling product, you're not necessarily going to tune in to that particular show because it's basically just themed for the troops. It's not wrestling driven. So I can see where the rating would drop off there pretty easily.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.